Greetings, Earthling. This is the Martian Master. Today I'm gonna be doing some FFTA. I'm not gonna actually be playing though, I'm gonna be showing you how I made it. I guess it's more accurate to say how we made it. Yeah, this is, if you go to Planet Minecraft, the very first minigame that I uploaded. It's definitely shown its age. It would be a big pain to go through and fix this. The radiuses have changed. They changed like how snowballs are thrown. It just completely ruined how this is played. We tried playing a couple of rounds of it and you have to like jump weird and throw your stuff. Forgot how bad Bedrock is sometimes. I can't believe how many games we made in Bedrock given what it is. The main concept is that you pick a race, you pick a class, you get your gear, and then you're ready to go. Now, this isn't going to work with just me, is it? You have abilities. In the current update of Minecraft Bedrock, they are very broken. This here is the win condition. It tests for people that are alive, and then outputs. And if there are more than one people alive, and then there's only one person alive, so it only puts out a value of 1, then it activates the win condition. So there's only one person alive. It titles everyone that the winner is the winner. That's basically just saying whoever's alive. If they're not in creative and they're not over one level, then they're the winner. It just titles that. Then it titles everyone game over, and of course it says that, and then adds a tag winner to everyone who is alive. Plays sound for the winner and for the loser. And if I activate this, goes game over. Game of survival. It plays the victory music for me. This is the dead room. We have a bunch of books in here that have this copy paste from the Final Fantasy wiki. Yeah, so it's just different random Final Fantasy trivia, I guess. The maps don't really have any redstone going on. There are just a couple little areas. This one I think used to have. Yeah, see, we used to have a set of command blocks for each map, and then we just decided let's just force load for picking area this one chunk Damsian. So that's a fun fact. Damsian is constantly loaded. We tried doing jukeboxes to play the music in the match. That didn't work, so we used play sound instead. The maps are pretty simple. We just build a map and it just works. This video isn't just about what's in the game that you can see. This is about digging into it. What does it actually do? So if we go here to human, what this button does is it just teleports you to the human place. What did you think it was going to do? So here are all the class selects. I mean, I guess I'll show them to you because probably most of you have never played this. This is the human class select based off of Cyril. I really like the human one. I think Bongo one is probably the most straightforward. It's supposed to be based off of Strom. All the command blocks just inside the buildings. And then Vieira, based off of Muscadet. We've got some tree stuff. Moogle. This is Moogle based off of, I think this is based off of the Moogle salesman town. This one is kind of dull, and it's very confusing in its layout. You know, yep, this is probably the worst class select we have ever made. And I'm including the original FFTA, where it was just a big blue concrete block box. Aesthetically, it looks kind of cool. Actually, I like the sandstone with the path blocks. It's a neat aesthetic. Gray shulker boxes look beautiful here. Got like windows in the buildings, the tents from Catawayne. Finding your way around this, finding some of the classes. Who knew there was a staircase all the way over here that went up to Scholar and Arcanist? I mean, I guess good that you didn't find those classes so you couldn't play them. So, Seek here, based off of that one shore town from FFTA 2. The Skria one, though, is kind of cool. Because we filled in snow on it. You look inside the Archer, all the Archer does is it sets your experience 4 levels if your level equals 0 and you're within 5 blocks. And then it clones this box from these coordinates, 21, 4, -1, 17, to this spot right here. That was a really painful method of doing it. Do it much better now, but it stuck around for a long time. Then of course we have the book here that just says what the abilities do. That's it. Then we have this big field of shulker boxes. They're cloned by the menu, so that's the Black Mage right here. You have the Thor Rod, you have the Seer, and the Aura Scriptures, the best weapon in the game. We have the Fighter back here. There's no real rhyme or reason to where these guys are placed. And this is the Dancer, which technically, theoretically should be a Vieira class, but we had a big argument about that. I made a texture pack that textures some of the weapons. Got some cool stuff. Axes, texture. This was before 1.16, so we didn't have netherite stuff, so we didn't use it ever. Yes, the beach balls, a flan soul, used by the morpher. Retextured the bow too, but we didn't retexture any of its Oh, we did retexture its animations. Good. Good, good. The other thing is that if you drop an item, it is instantly killed. You did this so that you don't give stuff to other people, I guess? I don't know. I don't know, man. This was kind of our first big thing that we actually did. Alright, let me show you what's going on here. This is a big field of command blocks. This was long before we started using data packs or anything. Let me just explain basically how it works, okay? So use levels because scoreboards weren't really in the game at the time. Alright, so now let's get into the meat of this, the big command block field, okay. The basics of how the abilities work. Let's see, pick a soldier. So this executes as everyone who is level 2 exactly. That's soldier, level 2. And then it executes as everything that is an egg within 1.5 blocks of that player. And it clears that player of 3 emeralds with ID 0. The second part of it does the same trick with the egg, and then affects everyone who is within 7 blocks, more than 1 block away, with weakness 2 for 10 seconds. And the final part of it executes as all soldiers, if there are eggs within 1.5 blocks, as the closest player who's a soldier. It says me uses Ren powers. So that's the basic concept of how all these classes work, is they execute the right guy, execute the snowball, splash potion, or egg, and then do the thing. That's what we started with. You know, first aid, it just heals you. Still takes emeralds, because that's MP. And then these are conditional, so only if it cleared the MP does it do the next thing. Only if it did that does it announce it. It was kind of self-moderating. Black Mage is a little more intensive. It summons a lightning bolt and gives people wither. That is the main method that we use to injure people, because slash damage was not a command yet. Alright, so that's basically how it works. Black Mage is level 1, Soldier is level 2. Thief's Steel Accessory, it puts a carved pumpkin on your head, the guy you're using it on. Steal items, just put the wooden sword in your hand. Steal Limelight just steals your MP. A lot of the human classes are all bunched together and just not that great. So we've got some very dumb stuff as well. But for the Seer, we eventually buffed it so that recharge, rather than just giving you emeralds, it initially just gave you emeralds. Now it sets this block to redstone. This block is this one here. So it sets this block here to redstone, which turns on a clock, a simple comparator clock, that then goes into here and gives all Seers 1 emerald, and then activates this very long repeater chain that eventually sets that block to air, so it just turns itself off, essentially. This was something that we did a lot later, as you can see by all these messes. And is this one? Oh, this is debuffs. Right, this is the whole debuffs area. Debuffs and buffs. We added these later. You have blindness, apparently, poison, resistance, weakness, strength. Yeah, nothing really crazy. Slowness, speed, mining fatigue, night vision. No, this was specifically for one class that was able to give people random buffs or debuffs. I forget which class it was, we'll see. But it randomly selects one of these and then just gives you that for as long as the redstone counter exists. Yeah, other than that, nothing really crazy. Illusionist was really OP at one point because it literally executes everyone who's more than 1 block away to summon an Evocation Fang. Like, yeah, it's not very powerful, but it targets everyone on the map who's not you, so you can just camp in a corner. Oh, Cannoneer was a fun one. Okay. So, let's see. Target. Clears your emeralds. Sets this block here to a redstone block. Prime target. 11, 4, -1. Ah, this one here, of course. Okay, so this just activates a really long redstone chain that goes here, executes that Cannoneer to give a player that's more than 1 block away, less than 22, Wither 5 seconds of Wither 11, and then sets that block to air. and then says target takes place on this guy. But basically, it's a very dumb ability where you use your ability, and then I think it's around about 30 seconds later, the closest person to you who's within 22 blocks just takes a bunch of damage. 1v1 fights. This means you're just chasing someone down as a cannoneer, and the other guy's just trying to escape you. Get more than 22 blocks away before the target activates. And in multiplayer of 3 or more players, this just means you're chasing everyone down while everyone is trying to run just slightly faster than the slowest guy, you know? It's, there are a lot of dumb game design decisions in here. Yeah, Hunter isn't very cool in this one. It's just, it does wither on a guy, wither on a guy, wither on a guy. I mean, they're all different. Sonic Boom is an AoE. Yeah, it gives everyone within 5 blocks of the nearest guy within 20 blocks, but more than one, so not yourself. Yeah, we've very much improved since then. Dragoon has Jump, which just gives yourself levitation. It's kind of like a double jump ability. Kind of cool. Then we get onto the Numu, which Numu Black Mage does exactly the same thing as human Black Mage, except they're Firaga, Blizzaga, Thundaga, they're all Agas. Firaga, or the fire abilities in general, they all set blocks to fire, because this was the only way we knew to set people on fire. This caused some problems. We've got this fire chain, which sets blocks on each corner of each player to air replacing fire. I don't have a facepalm emote. It worked though, because we can't have fire tick on or else we'll burn down our wooden maps. And we have to set people on fire because it's an ability in the game. So we gotta fill fire. This just kills everything that's an item. This kills all the chickens, because as you can imagine throwing eggs, if you don't have this, you get a lot of chickens. There's everyone's saturation, because health regen works weird on Bedrock, so we just have natural regen turned off. One funny thing is that Tempest sets the weather deluge. That's right, we actually changed it, so it sets 12/4 -5. Right, this here. Right, this is how we set the weather. So it sets weather to rain, then sets this block to air, and then weather clear. That's how we set the weather, rather than just setting the weather. Oh, this is Beastmaster, probably my favorite class. It's not even good. All it does is summon mobs that they're not even on your team because there are no teams. But yeah, it literally does nothing. White Mage Numu. It has Asuna, which is the most busted ability in the game. Allow me to explain why Asuna is, or was at the time, the most busted ability in the game. Picture this. You're playing the game, got health boost, and then this guy uses Asuna, and you're back down to 1 row of hearts, because it cleared the health boost. It clears all effects on you, including the health boost. A lot of these classes are just not good. Oh, Time Mage, okay. Time Mage is a really, really cool class. We did some really cool classes. Haste just gives you... Order just deals damage. But then we have Stop. It executes as the Time Mage. Execute as every entity that is within 15 blocks, but more than 1 block away so you don't get yourself. TPs that entity to itself. So what this essentially does is it just freezes time around you. Oh, Morpher, okay. Morpher has got to be one of the coolest classes we have ever made that is completely useless. Okay. So this guy has 3 abilities. Clan, Lodi, and Goblin. He's change your level. And remember, your level is your class, so this changes your class. It either puts you up 2, 1, 2, or 3. So if you go up 1, that is Goblin, and you morph into a Goblin. Revert, which just sets you back to your normal self, that's boring. Got Goblin Punch, it withers people. But you get some effects. You get strength as long as you're a Goblin. You can morph into a Flan, which, okay, this is probably the best morph, and by best I mean only good. So you have Thundaga, clears your emeralds, and then summons a lightning bolt on people within 10 blocks except for you. And then gives everyone within 7 blocks of the person within 10 blocks to their 5. And then gives the effect to everyone who is a morpher within 20 blocks. Regeneration 4 for 1 second. So you can kind of... This is how we did Absorb Lightning. gives nausea to people. I don't know why you would ever use acid. Sandaga is the good ability. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Since we used emeralds for MP instead of a scoreboard, because there weren't scoreboards when we created human at least, we used emeralds as your MP. There it is, MP. Look at this MP. But because of that, we can't actually check how much MP you have. We can only get rid of a certain amount of MP. So when we say get rid of 10 MP, it's a maximum of 10 MP that it clears from you. So if you have more than 10, then it'll leave you with MP. But if you don't, you're gonna use all your MP. Play and Morph also gives you resistance 3. Then you have Float Eye. Float Eye is weird. It gives you slow falling and invisibility. All in all, Float Eye is just weird and bad. Goblin is okay. Lain is the obvious choice. Scholar, nobody ever plays Scholar because it is so bad. It's Illusionist, but you also target yourself. Why would you ever go Scholar? Why would anyone ever go Scholar? Viera has Fencer. White Mage, Viera has Re-Raise. And Re-Raise spawn points yourself where you are. This doesn't sound like much. Until you realize that the way that death works is that it only sets you to being dead because we didn't have scores yet where they spawn. If you use this and then you die, you don't die. You just lose your health boost. Then on top of that, they have Raise, which grabs the dead guy and makes them alive again. Why does it do this? I don't know. Silence is kind of cool. It clears the people nearby, or person nearby, of their eggs, snowballs, and splash potions. Effectively making it so they have to wait another round to get back their eggs, snowballs, and splash potions. They effectively can't use abilities. In a more recent update, we changed how cooldowns work. There aren't just cooldowns. Before we had it so that there were big clocks that gave you eggs, snowballs, and splash potions. See? But then we changed it so that it's just... Here, it's a clear give chain. About 2.5 seconds. It clears every one of their eggs and gives them a new egg. Clears them of their snowballs, gives them a new snowball, and the same with splash potion. Every 2.5 seconds, you're getting a new egg anyway. Summoner, okay, Summoner is kind of cool. It's like Beastmaster, it summons guys. These guys all have their clock. Every time this clock goes around, Rama, the witch, summons the lightning bolt on everyone, and it says they use Judgment Bolt. And Ifrit sets everyone on fire. And then the unicorn heals everyone by a ton. The funniest part is that the Rama clock activates the Ifrit clock, and the Ifrit clock activates the unicorn clock, because I had no idea how redstone works. Moogle. Moogle is where we started saying, I hate how every class has, I'm gonna damage a guy within 15 blocks. Well, I'm gonna damage everybody, but only a little bit. We decided to get a little wacky. Chocobo Rush. Sets a redstone block here. This redstone block summons skeleton horses on everyone who's within 10 blocks of an element of an Animist. It used to be that it would just flood the map with skeleton horses, which, by the way, are retextured to be chocobos. It gives everyone who's not a chocobo knight, by everyone who is a lower level than an Animist, Wither 3. That's how Chocobo Rush actually ends up working. So it sets this block to redstone, which then comes along here. This is a complete jumble of redstone. The concept behind it summons either a cow, a witch, or a blaze, which are, by the way, Ifrit, Rama, and Unicorn. So this will only ever activate one. It's completely broken at the moment. So in practice, it just summons all three of them. Thief, the steel boots, steel helm, steel ability. Steel ability. Oh boy. Can you see what this does? Can you figure out what this does real quick? Type in the comments. Okay. Everyone who is Moogle Thief, Flash Potion, Moogle Thief, it removes 1 level of experience from one guy who's within 7 blocks and more than 1 block away. What level you are is what class you are. If you were, say, a Black Mage, a Moogle Black Mage, and you got hit with Steel ability, well, guess what? Now you're an Animist. Moogle was kind of the race where he just said, you know what? Let's just break the game. Why not? Speaking of breaking the game, Time Mage, Moogle Time Mage, anyone who's ever played this game with me knows what Moogle Time Mage does. Sloga. That's a block to redstone block. It changes the random tick speed. to 4,096. Well, let me show you what happens. The game just kind of breaks. Look, I'm trying to open my inventory. It takes like a minute to open my inventory. If there were other players here, you would be seeing they're just teleporting around, rubber banding, because the game tick speed is too high for Minecraft itself to handle. It just completely breaks the game, literally, until the clock runs out. Probably the worst ability that we have ever made. Okay, well, I say that while Tinker does, in fact, exist. Okay, concept behind Tinker. 50% of the time, this set is on. 50% of the time, this set is on. If you can figure out the timing, you can always get what you want. You have 3 abilities on each set. They're all the same abilities. One of them helps you and hurts other people, everyone else on the map, and the other one helps other people and hurts you. Why would you ever use this? Why would you use this? Like, even in Final Fantasy Tactics II, why would you ever use Tinker? Flintlock's kind of funny. The Flintlock has 3 abilities, Prime, Prime, and Prime. Once you activate Prime, it changes your class. Yeah, just straight up changes your class to Flintlock B. Which Flintlock B actually has your abilities, Ether Boost, Teleport Cannon, and Blowback. Ether Boost gives Wither to someone close to you, teleports a random player within 100 blocks, who's more than 5 blocks away, to yourself. Blowback damages yourself, and really damages another guy. All of these do their thing, and then you put you back to Flintlock A. This is kind of a cool concept. Juggler isn't anything special, except Molotov Cocktail, which sets people on fire and gives them strength and blindness, because that's how we did Berserk. So the biggest changes that we made with the final update were the maps and reworking the MP and ability cooldown system. We also added the Gria and the Steak. They only have like 4 classes each in Tactics A2. We briefly discussed possibly porting some classes from some other races, you know, like maybe like a Gria Archer or something, I don't know. Gria all get Elytra though. So Geomancers in the game operate based on what block they're standing on, which we could really well incorporate into Minecraft, except you have 3 different abilities. One that you can use while you're standing on grass, one that you can use, it changes the time, it moves the time forward by 10 ticks. Yeah, it's really just you have to stand on grass to use your worst ability. Hunter got Vital Shot, which that's what gives you a random scoreboard. Hey, Java players, did you know that in Bedrock you can just give random scoreboards? Crazy, huh? Crazy, that's kind of cool. Viking is a C class. Oh yeah, while you're in the water, it gives you strength and speed. It has Thunder. I always thought that was kind of a weird choice. And then Strong Arm. Wither, and gets rid of your main hand completely, because power creep's just objectively more powerful than Thief. Ranger, okay. Conceptually, Ranger is a very cool class. In practice, Ranger is a very dumb class. Okay, summons an armor stand. So what the armor stands do is if they detect there's someone within 2 blocks, gives them Wither 2/5, gives a random score to everyone within 2 blocks of debuff, and then it kills itself. So if somebody just walks up to an armor stand, it's not a ranger, they'll give them Wither, gives them a random debuff, and then kill the armor stand. So conceptually, what ranger does is they go around the map and they use their abilities. They can turn invisible and, you know, go places, hide a little trap here, you know. In practice, what ranger does is it just runs up to you, throws down their trap, gives you a random debuff, and then runs away. So they're basically just ghetto black mage. Definitely gonna have to revisit that. That's just so cool, you know. Berserker teleports everyone facing you. I guess that's kind of cool. Final classes. Sky Pirate. I love Sky Pirate conceptually. Okay. So Sky Pirate has Salvage, where you destroy armor stands and give yourself SP, which is Sky Pirate points. Flee, which is the ability you're going to be using most of the time, just gives you speed and jump boost, and gives you 4 pirate points. Life of Crime requires 1 pirate point and gives Wither, and gives yourself a splash potion. So basically the concept is You build up your pirate points by dismantling traps if there's a ranger in the map, or just running away with your flee ability. You save up a ton of pirate points, and you run up to somebody and just drop all of your Life of Crime splash potions on them. That's Sky Pirate right there. Dancer. It just gives a random debuff. It deals damage. It gives weakness. Very imaginative with these classes. Nightshade. Time Blade is Wither. An old clears emeralds. Rebirth just heals yourself. Kind of a cool combination. Before this, where there weren't a lot of classes that, can heal yourself and clear MP and deal damage and deal debuffs. Bard is kind of funny. It can heal yourself with Angel Song. Can give yourself a random buff. And it can give yourself resistance. That is every class in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance in Minecraft. Good old comparator, checking for everyone who's within 18 blocks and not in creative. Then it checks for everyone who's not in creative. And if count of people who are within 18 blocks and not creative, the people total who are not in creative -1, then it activates this redstone piston pusher, which originally turned off the doors and just let everyone flood out. Open these doors and let everyone out into the map select. We later got rid of these pistons and just made it so it teleports one guy out into here. Most of the maps are probably kind of bad. All of the maps are probably kind of bad. Let me show you how the redstone works though, because that's what you're here for real. All it does, it sets that block to a redstone block, which that block is the start chain. Look at that, start chain over here. It teleports one guy over to Damsian. Let's go over the start chain, huh? This is the music area. It gives you health boost 30 to everyone. Everyone has the same health. Gives everyone instant health, get them all to full. It sets the world spawn to the dead room. That everyone's spawn is in the dead room. Spawn points everyone in the dead room. It sets the block back here to air. Start chain block. Sets the block back at 010 area to a redstone block to get all the clocks going. So when the game starts, it sets this block here to redstone, which sets game rule PvP to true, because we have that in Bedrock. This is active when the game is on, so when the game ends, this is what activates. It kills all slimes, because slimes are a real pain to get rid of. That's everyone debuffed to 0, so that you don't carry debuffs between rounds. Okay. Oh yeah, you start with 30 emeralds. While it's active, runs this clock, which gives archers arrows. We just gave all the arrow classes arrows on a clock. We give everyone snowballs with this clock. But final update. It sets everyone to alive. And it titles everyone engage. Randomly selects music from 1 to 9. Then over here, it plays the battle start music. Plays, it plays the music based on your score. This was while we were playing around with trying to use jukeboxes to play the music. What we were trying to do was you clone this little setup, and then you pop in a redstone block here, and it dispenses a random music disc into there, which then plays the song. Oh man, I remember this. Oh yeah, by the way, shout out to eponymous otaku, Plutonian Pontiff, Dr. Robot Liquor. He's the one who figured out how to use that execute, to even create this game. And then I come home from college one day and he says, "Hey, look at this! I've made Black Mage from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance." Back in the Xbox 360 Minecraft days, we tried building a very, very rudimentary Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Our initial one, we still had it turn-based, so you would stand on a block and your stats would tell you how many blocks you could move, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you could attack people, or yeah, it was awful. Then our second iteration, we built Cyril from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, and we had a notebook of this class gets a splash potion of slowness and a potion of regeneration, and this weapon, obviously the Xbox 360 edition didn't have commands, so we couldn't actually make anything. You go into creative and grab the stuff and play. Built all these maps by hand, no tools or anything. Of course we use /fill for the edges sometimes. A lot of history here, man. This here is the castle map, Igro's Castle. This is a very tiny map. Oh man, we had some good fights on here, man, I remember. This is the reactor. So this is one of the first times we actually used a command block on a map. I'll show you what this is. This is a repeat command block. Everyone inside the elevator gets teleported to their position, but at the level 43, which is the top level. So if you press the button from over here, it moves you to here, and if you press it from over here, it moves you to here. We would later use this in our second Dracor campaign, the Cleonite campaign. It still exists somewhere. I would get the classes done in like a week sometimes, and then we would be languishing for months on getting the maps done. And the maps for stuff like this, Elfheim, you know. This is just a big empty box. Very first test map. This was when we had Black Mage and Soldier just testing if the game actually worked. This is where we were. Hub's a cool map. Here's what it looks like from the outside. Thought that might be kind of cool to see. My game mode spectator, is that a real thing? Yes, it is a real thing now. Beautiful piano over here. It's covered with a cloth right now, of course. That's not how the piano actually looks. And then you have the golden member tier level, the exclusive area, which is way up top where you probably can't even hear the music they're playing down there. The pub was also one where we had to spread players and then teleport you down off of the roof. Because you can't do it under a roof in Bedrock. That world's... Oh yeah, this was the old Ready and Dead room, wasn't it? Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. If you want to see more, or, you know, more of a deep dive into, like, how it actually works, or, you know, my process for making stuff. Look, I'm not good at a lot of stuff. But one thing that I kind of know how to do is making these very specific class-based, ability-based PvP minigames in Minecraft, okay? Like, Magister Dixit. I'll see you guys.